What's up, it's Ant Walker here with Ringside Intel, and let's jump right into UFC 305 main card predictions. The main event, we have Dricus Du Plessis defending his middleweight title against the former champion Israel Adesanya. This is Adesanya's first fight back since losing the title to Sean Strickland. Of course, Du Plessis beat Strickland to get the title, and here we are, the matchup that was originally supposed to take place at UFC 293. So now we finally have this matchup between the South African Du Plessis and the Nigerian-born Adesanya. I really don't know what to expect in this fight, because I would like to say that before Adesanya lost his title to Sean Strickland, this would have been a very easy one to call. I would go with Adesanya almost instantly with this pick, because Du Plessis is not necessarily the most technically gifted guy. He's very aggressive. He stays in your face. He throws with a lot of power, and he will sneak in some takedowns there too. If he employed the same game plan as Sean Strickland or some sort of variation of it, he could do very well here, because he could stay in Izzy's face, making sure that he jams up his kicks and sort of stifles any countering opportunities. But quite frankly, if we see the same Israel Adesanya that we had seen prior to Sean Strickland, then I don't think this is a very difficult style matchup for him. Now granted, I said that leading up to the Strickland fight as well, that he would be able to get the better of Strickland, but I really believe at this time, I think the difference between Du Plessis and Strickland is that Du Plessis throws with more power, meaning that he's going to commit to more shots. Strickland doesn't necessarily throw a lot of power. He flicks a lot of things out there, and the volume becomes more overwhelming. I don't think Du Plessis is capable of that level of output while maintaining the power. And if you leave a gap in there, Adesanya is going to find a hole. He's going to find a way to counter and find a way to do what he does best, and that's strike at range. I like him to defeat Du Plessis by fourth round stoppage. I see a TKO coming toward the end of the round. Next up, we have Kai Kara-France and Steve Erceg. Let me just jump out there and say, first of all, this is a fantastic flyweight co-main event. This pits Erceg, who is sort of this representation of a new generation, against Kai Kara-France, who is only 2 years older, but has a lot more miles and has been in the UFC for a longer period of time, been a professional for like 6 more years. So without a doubt, Erceg is the fresher and younger fighter. And I think that's what's going to make the difference here. I see Erceg being able to essentially control the way things go. To put it simply, Kai Kara-France is definitely one of the best flyweights in the UFC and has been for a little while now, with some spectacular finishes, with a nice list of names on his resume. He only loses to the absolute best. When I say that I pick Steve Erceg to win, it's not any slight to France. It's that Erceg is that good, in my opinion. I see him winning a decision here. Next up, we have Mateusz Gamrot and Dan Hooker. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I do think this can play out one of two ways. I mean, Hooker is definitely the sort of person that brings the excitement out of someone. Win or lose, Dan Hooker always seems to be in these fun, really exciting matchups. But at the same time, Gamrot is such a overwhelming grappler. He's a guy who's going to take you down and dominate position. I kind of see that happening here. I think Hooker can make it interesting in spots. After all, every single round does start on the feet, and that gives him a great opportunity to land something that's going to make the crowd go ooh and ah. However, in my opinion, the smart money is on the guy who has the very consistent, very sort of safe game plan, and that is to just take you to the ground and drag you there and make it miserable. Gamrot certainly has the skills to do that, and quite frankly, I don't think Hooker is going to be able to deal with that effectively over the course of 15 minutes. So the pick is Gamrot by decision. Next up, we have Tai Tuivasa and Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Now, this can go one of two ways. Either this is going to check the box for that really exciting, just crazy violent heavyweight fight that every card just sort of needs to have, or it's going to be boring as hell. I'm picking for it to be an exciting fight. I don't think this pick needs a whole lot of nuance. Jairzinho Rozenstruik is by far a more seasoned kickboxer, and Tai Tuivasa is sort of a powerhouse who kind of does what he does. He lays fists on you and he knocks you out. Problem is he going to be able to get those fists to Rozenstruik's chin? That's where things start getting a little tricky. Rozenstruik has the technique and the ability to be able to evade what's coming at him while dishing out his own punishment, especially against a striker like Tuivasa. Now, of course, that kill shot can be landed at any moment, and we know this, but I want to lean toward Rozenstruik to do this because, one, I like to pick the guy that has the more straightforward game, and Tuivasa has been finished in his last 4 fights, so you got to question the durability at this point. So my pick is Jairzinho Rozenstruik to win by a second round KO. Now, opening up the main card, we have Jinglian Li and Carlos Prater. This is definitely a big step up in competition for Prater. Less than a year ago, he won his contract on the Contender Series, and Jing Lian has been among the best of welterweights for some years now. Under normal circumstances, I would have a pretty simple time picking Jing Lian. However, he's coming off of a severe spine injury, and he's been on the shelf for going on 2 years now. So I just don't know what to expect. And with that in mind, I like Prater to win by decision. So that will do it for the UFC 305 main card predictions. Be sure to check out the main site so you can see the written article with the full card predictions, as well as a slew of boxing, MMA, and pro wrestling content. Remember to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell that friend to tell 10 more friends. Stay locked into Ringside Intel. I'm Matt Walker. Peace.